hope you're doing great. All right, let's start today's live session, which is all about the caps preparation tips, and a lot of other questions which you have got, which you have got there. So just wait for some time for some people to come in, and then we will answer our question answer session and a sort of a discussion thing. I wanted to do that because a lot of people contact me on the various platforms asking about different questions related to the caps and related to the pharmacist journey for the overseas pharmacists to Australia. So I thought, like, why not? We should have a live, meet up on the YouTube, so I can answer all of your questions if you have got any. All right, let's start. Meanwhile, people will join us, of course. So meanwhile, I'm going to talk about the how you can apply for the eligibility assessment. That's a very important step, and a lot of people have issues in that, and they don't know actually how they can apply for the eligibility assessment. So probably let's start with that one, and then meanwhile, our other people will join us on different platforms. So we are live on the Facebook as well, and we are live on YouTube at the moment. Okay, let's imagine like you decided to give the CAPS exam in the next attempt, which is in July. So what you need to do is you have to apply for the eligibility assessment. So while you're applying for the eligibility assessment, make sure you go to the pharmacycouncil.org.au website, and on that website make up your candidate portal, put all your documents over there, upload transcript, degrees, photographs, passport, and all these kind of basic and your registration certificate from your country, and upload all of these documents over there and apply for the eligibility assessment. And I think it costs around 1300 Australian dollars. So just wanted to make one thing very clear here. So there's a difference between the eligibility assessment and the skills assessment, because a lot of people, they got confused in that, and they get confused, like if they got the eligibility assessment and they thought like might be they are able to apply for the PR and all that. No. So once you get the eligibility assessment, that will only help you to sit in the CAPS exam, and you can't use that eligibility assessment thing for the immigration thing. So to apply for the immigration, you need to pass the CAPS exam, and once you pass the exam, they will send out to you the eligibility skills assessment letter. And that skills assessment letter, you can use it on the various platforms to apply for permanent residency or apply for any other thing which you want to. So the first step is to apply the eligibility assessment, and then once you apply the eligibility assessment, and once you get that, then that means you can sit in the CAPS exam. And once you pass the CAPS exam, and then rest is the next hurdle which you have to pass through. So this is the main important point. And I believe that, like, people ask me like when we should apply for the eligibility assessment. So look, there is no right time to start anything. If you are seriously thinking of moving to Australia as a pharmacist, then you should apply for the eligibility assessment as soon as possible. As soon as you got your funds ready, as soon as you got your documents ready, apply for that. Because if you spend those $1,300 for your eligibility assessment, so that will basically motivate you to sit in the exam as well. And because you will think that I have spent $13,100 on that one, and now I should give and attempt the CAPS exam. So the starting point is, if you are seriously thinking, apply for the eligibility assessment as soon as possible as you can, so that you can just move to the next step, which is the CAPS exam. And you can just give the CAPS exam whenever you are ready. There is no kind of expiry of the eligibility assessment. So once you get the eligibility assessment, it will be there, so you can sit in the CAPS exam in like 5 months or 1 year or whenever you want to actually. So this is what first step. The first step is to apply for the eligibility assessment. So I wanted to talk about the documents you need for the eligibility assessment, because there's a lot of confusion going on, and a lot of questions about related to especially for the license. If I haven't got license from my country, am I eligible to sit in the exam, or these kind of questions. So The first thing first is you should be a registered pharmacist in your country, because this is a requirement from the Australian Pharmacy Council, that you should be a registered pharmacist in your country. So in case, in scenario where your license has been expired, or if your registration certificate is expired, then in that situation, what you can use is you can just use the old one. Doesn't matter, as long as you can prove the pharmacy council that you were a registered pharmacist. So that's completely fine, so they will accept that letter. But if you haven't got any registration certificate from your country, then there would be a problem, because they will ask you for that later on. So don't waste your time, because how the pharmacy council works is, let's say you have applied your documents today, and they will reply you back in exactly 2 months. And when they will be responding you, and they will be giving your decision on your application, if there is any problem, then they will reply you back exactly after 2 months, and they will tell you, okay, we need your this document. You will upload the document very next day, but they will take their 2 months again. So they're gonna reply you back every 2 months. They will not reply you back, during within that time frame. And this was the story, like, since started last year, but I'm not sure what's happening now. But just be on the safer side, just to save your time. Don't take risk, and upload all your documents, and because you have spent your money, you are lagging behind your time if you are wasting time on just waiting for these kind of small documents and these kind of decisions, if you have put something wrong there. So just don't do that. So compile all your documents first, and then apply, like, with a full confidence that you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the eligibility assessment after that. So this is the first step. So your license from your country, and your transcript, your degree, and your photographs, passport. So you don't need to get them verified. This is very, very important question usually people ask. They ask about if you have to be verified from different councils and different different embassies and all that. So no. So as long as you have got original documents with you, scan the original documents. That's all you need to do. Don't need to get it verified from different organizations in your country. So there is no need of that, and pharmacy council doesn't need that. So why to waste time, and why to waste energy on that? So just upload the original scans of your documents, and I think you will all be good to go. And there are specific dimensions in which they want your documents to be scanned. So just follow those instructions. Don't take those things non seriously, because they will reject your application, and you have to wait for another 2 months. So exactly follow the dimensions in which they want your document to be scanned, so that, like, you can get the decision straight away. Successful decision straight away, I would say that. Okay, so this is the first step. So second step would be the Caps exam. So as soon as you got the eligibility assessment, then at that time, you have to think about, are you ready for the Caps or not? If you are ready, just book the exam straight away, if the registrations are open. Or if not, then of course you have to wait for the next attempt. So don't be rushed in that. And I have seen people failing the exam just because they rush in, booking the exam, just because they want to crack the exam and they want to move out of their country. So just don't do these things emotionally. Sit back and think. If you're really ready, if you are confident enough, if you have enough knowledge about the subjects and all that, then of course go for the exam, because this is a very expensive exam, and it costs you around like $2,300 per attempt. So why to waste time and energy if you fail the exam and if you are not confident? So I want you guys to go in the examination room with a full confidence and full, kind of mindset that you're gonna pass, to crack the exam straight away. If you will be in doubt, then of course, doubts will never let you pass the exam smoothly. So this is one thing for sure. So when you get the eligibility assessment, think, ponder, discuss with the people who have passed the CABS exam already. Talk to them, and then book your exam. So if you are living in the country where there is an examination center, that would be great. If not, then of course you have to fly to different countries where it is more convenient for you to sit in the exam. So give the exam there, and then of course there is another step afterwards. You have to look for the job, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit of that one at the end of our um at the end of our discussions. Okay, so I'm going to open the chat here. You can just put your questions there. So before taking your questions, I will be talking about the CAPS exam, because a lot of people, they have exam next week. So if you are listening to me through Facebook or through YouTube or any other platform, so probably I think I'm on, I put Instagram live as well, but if not, then that's fine. But people who are listening to me, if you are giving exam tomorrow, then you can just, they can get benefit out of it. Or if you are sitting in the next attempt, then of course it would be a good information, piece of information for you regarding the preparatory trips. Basic things you should be kept in mind while preparing for the exam. Okay, so let's open the chat so that people can just post their questions. All right, yeah, I opened the chat already. I've got, yeah, 3 4 questions already. Okay, that's good. Rana Abbas is here. Hi, and this is Anaya Rudra. Here, sir, is an essential worker. That is, 1 second, is there and are pharmacists in that list? Okay, okay, Anaya, I'm gonna answer this question in a bit, but let's first discuss about the CAPS preparatory journey. So this is a journey which everyone has to follow to crack the exam. Okay, so before I start, I would want to make it very clear that I'm not here to give you a shortcuts. I'm not here to give you the basic kind of way where you can crack the exam in 15 months and all that. I don't follow that. I don't believe in that. So don't expect anything from me like that. So I am the person who believes in the consistency, in the proper planning, and if you do things without planning, of course you gonna not will not be successful. So I have experience in my I have experience of this one, to do things in rush before, but things wouldn't go in that way, to be honest, realistically. So I would my path is bit longer, but for sure you're gonna crack the exam that way. So the longer path is always the difficult path, is always the easy, is the right path. Just follow that. Okay, so regarding the exam thing, first of all, I want to explain you a little bit of about the CAPS exam overall, and then what papers are included, what subjects are included, how you can proceed for the preparation. So basically, it consists of 2 papers, as I said. CAPS paper 1 consists of pharmacology and chemistry. Paper 2 consists of pharmaceutics and therapeutics. So now there is a question here, is like, why they put pharmacology in paper 1 and therapeutics in paper 2. As far as my experience is concerned, I think they want people to be very much knowledgeable in regards to the medication knowledge, clinical knowledge. That's why they put pharmacology in paper 1, and therapeutics in paper 2. So if you ask me my classification of the course material, if you ask my classification of the total CAPS course, then I would say that pharmacology and therapeutics makes the 70% of the total CAPS syllabus. So pharmacology and therapeutics are the basic backbone subjects of the whole exam, and then 70% is pharmacology and therapeutics, 10% is pharmaceutics, 10% is chemistry, and 10% is calculation. So you should be very clear in your planning that you have to spend 70% of your time on on the pharmacology and therapeutics, 10% is pharmaceutics, 10% is chemistry, and 10% is calculation. This is my classification. If you go to the Pharmacy Council website, they have mentioned different thing here, but this is my experience about the teaching the CAPS people, like from last 4 5 years. So I know that this is the basic plan you should follow. So 70% is pharmacology and therapeutics. How you can cover those subjects, I will talk about the pharmacology and therapeutics first, and then I will talk about chemistry, pharmaceutics, and calculation a little bit as well. Okay, let's start with the pharmacology and therapeutics. These 2 subjects are the subjects where people fail the most, and just because they don't have any idea about these 2 subjects, what is the basic difference between those 2 subjects, as far as the CAPS exam is concerned, as far as the CAPS exam questions are concerned. So if you don't know the basic difference, you will not be able to prepare them properly. Okay. So let's start with the pharmacology. So what is the difference between pharmacology and therapeutics? Look, I'm not very specialized in pharmacology subject, but as far as the CAPS exam is concerned, or as far as the basic pharmacology classification is concerned, I can tell you that. Let's take an example of any drug. So specific information of that drug is falls under the category of pharmacology, and rest of the information falls under the category of therapeutics. So let's take an example of atenolol. Let's take an example of like labetalol, any medication. So three things which I think falls under the category of pharmacology is number one is mechanism of action. Number two is indications. Number three is the classification, and number four is the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. All these things makes up the pharmacological information. Okay, I'm going to tell you again. So pharmacology part for the litinolol is the classification, indications, mechanism of action, and absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. These are the things which basically falls under the category of pharmacology. Now, rest of the information is therapeutics, which is adverse effects, drug interactions, doses, precautions and monitoring points, and of course, calculations. Okay, so therapeutics consists of all of these things, which includes, I'm going to tell you again, um, adverse effects, interactions, calculations, doses, precautions, and monitoring points. All these categories, all these pieces of information fall under the category of therapeutics. This is the reason why most of the people, most of the CAPS candidates, they fail paper two, just because they don't concentrate on the therapeutics part, which is the most critical and and kind of lengthy part as far as the CAPS syllabus and preparation is concerned. So now there is a question which normally people ask me. Okay, so they say that like a lot of people, a lot of Australian registered pharmacists, they who have passed the exam, they are saying that look, you just need to do a pharmacological part from the Lippincott and then do the recalls and you will pass the exam. Look, if you have enough experience working in a retail pharmacy, or if you have enough experience of working in a hospital in a clinical environment, then I would say that that's right. Okay, so because you have already got a hand-on experience on these two subjects, of course you will be able to crack the exam based on your experience and based on your knowledge you got from from your work. But if you haven't got any experience and if you're totally blank with your clinical experience, then of course you have to go through a longer way and a difficult way to cover this subject. So if you haven't got any idea about the dosage, about the clinical knowledge about the medications and interaction and all that, and of course you will suffer in the exam because you haven't read that part. So if you have got background knowledge from the hospital and from the clinical setup, then of course that's fine, you can follow that. But majority of the people, they haven't got that exposure, so that's why they have to go through a longer way, which is you have to read the whole thing related to the therapeutics portion as far as the drugs are concerned in the exam. Okay, so pharmacology is, I told you, those four things, and therapeutic is rest of the information is therapeutics, which includes interaction, adverse effects, calculations, and precaution and monitoring point. All those things fall under the category of therapeutics part. So from where you can do these subjects. So if you can do from anywhere, but I would say that you should follow the for CPR book, which is a really comprehensive book, and they have explained every bit of the pharmacology and therapeutics part, and right from chapter number 19 till onwards till chapter number 48 is basically all the chapters which basically fall under the category of these two subjects. So don't okay, so the main problem I have seen people facing while preparing these chapters is they don't know what to do actually from that chapter, because there is an hell amount of information written there in the chapters, and you are not sure if you are doing the right thing, if you are ignoring the right thing, or if you are just doing the wrong stuff. So this is the problem. So that's why we offer sessions. We offer in those sessions we discuss the topics. We help people marking the important topics from every chapter, because of course you will not be able to summarize the chapters you're on, because you are not sure, you are not in the system already. So that makes things very difficult for most of the people. So here comes our job, where we normally help people in marking and basically in giving the basic concepts of the different topics related to the CAPS exam. Second thing, there are hell amount of lectures are present, are available on the YouTube. You can just follow those lectures. And if you are not sure about the sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system, if you're not sure about the basic different kind of CVS mechanism, then of course the hell amount of information written available on the YouTube on different platforms. You can just follow that, and you can just prepare and clarify your concepts on that. If you have to read the Lippon Code or not, I would say that only read the Lippon Code if you need to. And if you think you have to clarify your concepts about the pharmacology, then of course go for the Lippon Code. But a lot majority of my students who've passed the exam, they haven't touched the Lippon Code at all. So everyone have a different formula, so you make your own formula or follow the one formula. So plenty of people are helping people in the exam, which they are doing great and absolutely fantastic. They are putting a step ahead, and they are helping people to crack the exam. So just follow one person, just follow the one formula, so that you know what you are doing. If you are listening to the plenty of people, if you are listening to the crowd, and of course there will be a confusion, there will be a problem, and you will not be clear what you are doing. You will not be focus enough, so to prepare the exam. Just follow one formula, and just trust on that formula, and then go for it. Everyone is fantastic, everyone is doing a great job, and it's really good actually. Okay, so this is the pharmacology and therapeutics. You have to go a long way. Okay, along with these chapters, no, I normally recommend people doing the recalls. Recalls are basically the one-liner answers against which the examiners asked question in the previous exam. So you have to do those recalls as well, just to make sure, you are doing those one-liner answers. You are memorizing those one-liner answers, so that in exam, if they ask you the question in different way, you will be able to answer that. Second benefit of doing the recalls is, it will give you an idea about what are the important drugs, what are the important topics they usually are asking in exam. So while you are reading the CPR, if you reach that topic, you will know that it was in exam already, so you have to work so hard on that. So this is my point of view. So Lippin got, of course, recalls, and then there are various kind of summarized chapters which we have summarized for you guys. So if you read those summarized chapters, basic handmade notes, if you can do that. We have typed as well already, but those notes are helpful to cover the basic gaps in the total cap syllabus. So if we haven't touched anything from the CPR, then of course you need the different notes as well to cover those gaps, so that and things are not very surprise in the real exam. We are in the process of writing the book at the moment, and we are trying to do that, and at the moment, and we are just near to in the middle of that, and probably at the end of this year we will be able to publish that one. So once that will be available, then things will be much easier for you. But for you guys, you are giving exam in July or in November, then of course you have to go through that pathway of the CPR and Lippin court CPR and recalls and those things. Okay, and then I'll talk about the chemistry. Look, the chemistry part is a tricky part. You will not be able to get the chemistry material from one book. So we have got all the basic notes available for the chemistry topic. So chemistry, we have to touch the structural activity relationship. We have to touch the topic of the stereochemistry, enantiomers, cis trans isomers, superimposable mirror images, and all those basic chemistry stuff has to be covered in the exam. And in my experience, people got like from 10 to 20 questions from the chemistry in the exam. So a lot of people ask about, do we need to do structures as well? And structures means like I don't recommend people spending hours and hours to memorize the structures, because in exam they will give you only one or two structures maximum. So why to waste your energy and time on memorizing all the structures, spending like days and weeks on those ones? So there's no point of that. Okay, so just do the basic chemistry, stereochemistry, SARs, and basic all the mechanism, functional groups, activity, toxicology. All these things has to be covered under the chemistry subject, and then you will find in the chemistry part. Pharmaceutics. is 10%. Again, I said pharmaceutics basically, I have divided pharmaceutic in two things. Number half is the formulations, drug dosage forms, ointments, tablets, capsule, all these dosage forms. You should know that what are the different stability tests, quality control tests, what are different types of tablet, what are the purpose of each type of tablet. Giving an example, okay, ointments, ointment basis, a suppository basis, and all these things you should know. And the second part is the basic pharmaceutics, basically how you formulate, how what are the ingredients which are being involved in designing of the in formulating of the medication. So you should know about the emulsifying agents, emulsifiers, and suspending agents, and what is the charge on that one. So all these of ingredients things has to be covered. Of course, pH and the buffers and the colligative properties, uh, flocculation, deflocculation, and creaming and cracking. All these basic concepts, Newtonian fluids and half-life, plasma concentration, these things fall under the category of biopharmaceutics, of course. So these are the basic subjects you can topic you should cover, and these are available on in the CPR as well, and different books available as well. I would say that like chapter number 2, 3 and 5 are more than enough to cover the pharmaceutics and biopharmaceutical portion as far as the exam is concerned. And then the last part is the calculation, which is the most difficult part in the perspective of most people, but I would say that this is the easiest part if you know what you are doing. Just practice, the calculation. There is an APEC calculation book available, and we have got the books available as well for the calculation, practice calculations. The more you practice, the more you get the idea about what type of calculation they usually ask. In my experience, they usually ask about unit dilution, unit concentration, unity method, concentration, dilution. If these tablets is of 20 milligrams, then doctor will prescribe 100 milligrams a day. How many tablets he need to take in a day? These type of questions, right? So very simple. If the amoxicillin suspension is 250 milligram per 5 ml, and body weight is 14 kilograms, so what is the right dose for the for the patient? So you should know what are the basic concentrations and dilutions, okay? And then of course a lot of questions they ask about the half-life, plasma concentrations, and milliosmoles, milliequivalents. These are the topic they usually ask in the exam from the calculations point of view. Very important actually. Also, in the last exam, they ask a lot of questions from the drip sets, IV injections, number of drops per minute per ml. If they have given you some strength of the solution, and then they asked about the what how many drops per minute they should be injected to the patient. So these type of questions, kind of pharmaceutical IQ type of question, I would say that you should know that, like if giving a scenario, like if one person is having a is making $20 an hour, how much he will make in 8 hours. So these type of questions, like if doctor has prescribed 500 milligram of suspension, and in market if it's available only 250 milligrams, so how many mls he should get for that particular dose. So these are the questions we usually ask, okay? So the pharmacology and therapeutics one portion, pharmaceutics, chemistry, calculations. Okay, again, pharmacology and therapeutics one portion, suitics, chemistry, and calculation. These four subjects easy. Pharmacology and therapeutics, if you are studying like around 3 hours a day, that will help you to get through the pharmacology and therapeutics within 2.5, maximum 2 months. 2 weeks for suitics, 2 weeks for chemistry, and 1 week for calculations. 3.5 months, done and dusted. To be honest, you don't need much time. 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours day commitment, but without any without any interference, without any disruptions in that. Just 3 hours a day. If you even if you are working full time, 3 hours a day is it's not very hard. Or on the weekend, if you can study like and long hours, that's completely fine as well. So 3 hours a day, and 5 or 6 days a week, then 3 and a half months is more than sufficient to cover the whole syllabus of the caps exam, okay? This is the whole journey. Once you pass the caps exam, the next step is to how you apply for the jobs, and how you apply for the different visas. Okay, so that's a different thing, and that section I will answer you on your questions because we are already half an hour, and then okay, let's start with the questions here. Uh, One second. Okay, let's start with the first question here, which asked by the Anaya Rudra. Hey Asad, is there an essential worker list that is there and are pharmacists in that list? Look, at the moment, there are different lists are available in Australia, like for 189, for 491, and for different occupations, right? So, pharmacist is not on the direct immigration list, I would say, in a very layman language, because I am not a lawyer, so I can't advise you on any kind of legal or immigration matters, right? So don't take my advice on that. But as far as my current knowledge is concerned, so pharmacy is not on the direct occupation list. You can apply different regional visas like 4N1, 4N4, 482, 407. These are the visas which are available at the moment. You can apply once you pass the Kaps exam. Okay, next part is okay. Next is what is meant by recall portion. Like, let hold 1 second. Okay, so what is meant by the recall? Recalls basically, people have compiled different answers from the last 10 to 12 years. Like, let's say I have given the exam, I came out of the examination room, and because of course I will not remember the question, but I know that this was the answer. Or if I know the question and I tell the question to someone, they will find out the answer, and that answer is the recall. So against that answer, next time when you will be going in the examination room, they could be that question will be is a repetition, right? And you will be able to answer that question straight away because you have already known the answer. So this is meant by, this is called recalls, or you can say past exam questions, or you can say any way. But as long as you know the right line, you know the right information, and you know the information, then you will be able to answer the question. Does not matter if they ask you in a multiple different ways. The questions pattern could be different, but the key line it would be same, and the answer would be same in that one. Okay, next question is from Rana Abbas. When we can get the recall papers? Are you going to bad for preparation? Yes, we are doing two offered at the moment. We are doing one-on-one sessions. People who are living in Australia or in UAE, we are offering the one-on-one sessions. Of course, few people are from Philippines as well. People who are in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, we are offering a batch session. So right now we have started one batch session, and I started as a trial, and it is very good. It's going very good. A lot of people attending this that batch session, and it's really good at the moment. And I think we're gonna be starting next batch in the end of May. I think because we will be finishing this batch in May sometime. So in the May end or May start, I think we will be offering our next batch, and we will be having more students in that batch, because I believe in the quality stuff, not the quantity. The lesser the people, the more you know aware of the students, the problems and all that. So if I got like a lot of students in one batch, then of course I will not be able to concentrate, I will not be able to know everyone. I want my students to be known. I want to know my each of my student, what they are doing and how they are going and all that, right? So that's why we have started one batch. It's been 1.5 months, 1 month now, I think, and then our next batch will be in May, of course, or before that, but it depends, so how it goes, and then you can join that as well. Okay, next question is for the CAPS preparation and final year pharmacy student would start from now, and what are the internship and job prospects in the coming 5 years? Look, if you are a final year student, and if you are thinking of the CAPS exam, so self preparation, self study is fine at the moment. Don't need to take any coaching, pay for coaching or something to anyone. I would say that start your preparation now, start your studies, self study now for the CAPS. And once you finish your degree and you are into your professional field, and you have got all your documents ready, and then of course at that time when you think you are ready, then you can just take the online coaching, because um, let's say if you are in a final year student, it will take 1 year in finishing your degree, and then you have to wait for your degrees transcript and all those kind of things. It will take 6 more months, to be honest, and then afterwards you will be able to look into options. Okay, and at that time, by that time, if you have spent money on the coaching thing and all that, so if at that time, if you're thinking of moving to Canada or somewhere else, then all money gone in vain. So I don't want that. I want you to guys just start your CAS preparation 4 months before you are thinking of you're going to crack it in July or in November, whenever you want to. Just 4 months. So before 4 months, there is no point. Otherwise, you have to be in touch all that time until you sit in the exam. Okay, so just 4 months or maximum 5 months. I would say that 4 to 5 months is the ideal time to start your preparation and pass the exam. Okay, right. Okay, next question is from Aksa. Sir, will a person has to travel to Australia to take CAPS exam, or it can be taken in home country? All right, this is a good question, but before answering that, why my chat is going is hidden. 1 second. Give me a second. Okay, so for the notes, I'll at the end of the session I will put my official WhatsApp number for my team member. You can just talk to them about the notes and all that. They will assist you that. So my phone, I will send my phone number over there at the end of the session. Don't worry about that. Okay, next question is from Samin Zia. How can we note? Okay, this is all done. Sajid Ali, after giving CAPS exam, is there any need for employer's visa or can apply directly? Look, uh, I have seen one girl. She passed the exam and she was looking for the job, but she hasn't found the job. But she got the immigration straight away. She applied for I think 491 for some state and she got it. So that's completely possible. But for that you have to pass the exam. One thing. Second thing, as I said, once you pass the CAPS exam, then you have to look for the opportunities. What is available at that time on your plate. Okay, so it's not I can't tell you anything beforehand until you pass it. So the Australian immigration policy is bit kind of evaporative. Sometimes things are very very clear, and sometimes opportunities are available. But in like next hour, you never know. They'll close everything, and so I can't tell you with 100% confidence that like what are the chances of visas available at that time. But of course, if nothing is available, then the only available thing would be the sponsorship. Then this will be the available thing, and I think for the next 5 6 years it will be available. So don't worry about that. So as I said, like right now, states have opened their nominations for all the pharmacists. If you have if you have already passed the CAMS exam, then you can apply that, and people are getting it at the moment. And nobody is looking for the sponsorship, because if you go for the sponsorship, then you have to be with that employee for like 3 years. But people are getting at the moment the straight immigration or state kind of visas from different states. But I think things will change in next 3 or 4 months, and then people has to go back to the sponsorship options again, because once they put a cap on that one, then of course like there will be no other option than the sponsorship thing. So I think at the end of the day, if nothing is available, sponsorship will be available. So this is what I can say. Okay, the next question is from Amjid Ali. Inspector, how will we confirm that data center exists in Saudi Arabia or Riyadh or not? So if you go to the website, which is pharmacycouncil.org.au, and search for the CAPS testing center, if you just Google it, CAPS testing centers, I think there is a one center available in Riyadh. 100% sure. And I think I have got a question before on the Facebook that if you can give CAPS exam in Pakistan. Yes, there's a testing center in Islamabad. You can sit in the exam in Islamabad. But in Pakistan and in India and in Sri Lanka, in these I think not Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh, in these countries. I think there's only one or two test centers maximum. In India, I think there are two, but I'm not sure. But in Pakistan, there's only one. So one testing center, there's a limited capacity. So we have to book the exam the night the they open the slots, because they will fill it quickly. They will fill them quickly. So because a lot of people, they are interested in moving to Australia, so everyone is writing the CAPS exam. So you have to be very fast in booking your slot. Next is, which are the textbook to refer for the clearing CAPS. I have mentioned it already. Uh, these are the CPR. You can study Lippincott as well if you want to study recalls, APC, and a Platon, and all these kind of books you should study to do the CAPS. Samira, Rina, they said after CAPS and English exam, it's hard to get a working visa as an intern. Do you think it is possible to take tourist visa after two exams to apply internship onshore? Is it high possibility? Okay, Rina. If someone is telling you it's hard to get a job, I'm telling you live on the YouTube, like if he is looking for the job, just refer to me and I'll find him a job. Because right now I am looking for the interns, but I'm not finding anyone. And I put an ad last week and I didn't get any single applicant as an intern pharmacist at the moment, and we are desperately looking for an intern pharmacist. The reason is, as I said, right now people are getting direct visas for different states, and that's why they are not going for the sponsorship. That's why we are suffering at the moment, and we are not able to. Uh, we are not able to find different intern farm feedback, or if people are just spreading negativity just because they couldn't find it, just refer me and then I'll find them a job, and I promise you live on the YouTube at the moment. Okay, so refer them. I have a jobs right now. I have a job at the moment, so don't worry. Next question is, can I upload passport on both places photo being document, because I don't have English card, but maybe registration close for June or July. Yes, look, I think any document bearing your photo, passport or ID card would be fine as well. If you got any ID, any driver's license in your country, that would be helpful as well. But I don't think so. They will accept the same document. No, don't do that. One passport and one could be any other ID document, which is could be your ID card or your driver's license or any other document. In which there is a photo. You can just upload that one. That's not an issue. Okay, next question is, let's start taking the questions from the Facebook. Okay, what are the chances if I take your coaching, I will pass the exam? Look, this is a very interesting question. I always love to answer this question. Look, when you go to the university, right? So when you go to the university, university never ever promises someone that they will not fail the student, right? Because education is 100% related to the market, related, related to the practical thing, and related to the and you will get the job straight away if you study from our university, right? This is the guarantee you can get from any educational institute. So if someone is teaching you, if someone is coaching you, or if someone is helping you to crack the exam, so that's based on his experience, that based on his knowledge, that based on his experience from his past students. Okay, as long as his material, his educational knowledge is concerned, yes, you should ask that question. But you can't, no, not a single teacher in the world can tell you that if you study from me you will pass that board exam, if you pass the entry exam from different universities or different uh, uh, you know O level to A level exam. No. So as long as if someone can give you a guarantee on their educational knowledge, experience, and exact teaching methodology, then of course I can tell you that there is no way you fail the exam. But sometimes what happens is it's a two-way thing. Sometimes on you are very well prepared for the exam, but on the exam day, if you can't perform, different thing. Okay, and you can't blame totally on the student, and you can't blame on your coach as well. So it's just sometimes I can't explain this very well, but you have to accept that, like, so no one can give you a guarantee on there. They can give you they can show you the path, they can tell you what need to be done, and it is your job to do that. And of course I have seen many students in my experience, they are very very well prepared for the exam, and I was thinking from myself, talking to myself, saying this will definitely crack the exam. But on the exam day, they got nervous. Something goes wrong in the exam. Sometimes they ask very difficult questions, and you get difficult questions because uh, there is no, I don't know if you guys know that there is no specific set of questions in the exam. Everyone's exam is different, okay? Because system will give you the question. They have like around thousands of questions in the examination pool, but system will select one and give it to you that question. So if you are unlucky on the exam day, you might get difficult question. You know, if you are unlucky, then that's a different thing. Okay, so just follow that guy, just follow that coach, just follow that person. Like you think he's right, then of course just follow that. But follow one, not follow the multiple. Otherwise, you will be confused. You will say, "Oh, that guy is saying something, and that guy is something else." You know, every teachers have a different experience, different knowledge, different background, so they have a different approach for a particular subject. So you can't blame anyone. All right. Next question is. How many hours a day a pharmacist can work here, like as long as you're working 38 hours a week, that's fine. There is no particular limit on that one, and you should have a 2 days off, and yeah, 38 to 48 40 hours a week is fine here. Okay, the next question is, what is the initial pay of an intern and for a newly licensed pharmacist? Look, as an intern pharmacist, there is an award rate which has been decided by intern pharmacist. Like you'll be getting 27 to $28 an hour. This is a legal pay, and every owner has to pay that salary, if he is doing things right. Okay, but once you pass the CAPS exam, at that time, it is between you and the owner what salary you're gonna get. But I think minimum award rate is the minimum salary of full pharmacist in Australia is, I think, $33 or $32 an hour. I have to check that one because before it was 30, now they have increased to $32 an hour. But it depends on the location where you are working with. It depends on the owner which you are working with. I have seen many owners. They like hire the overseas pharmacists, and then they manipulate them and they give them very less salaries once they become a full pharmacist, and they are working in far away from main cities, and they are staying there and they are not getting good salary there. But they has to pay $33 $34 an hour. But right now the market is very hot. Pharmacy is just like a hot cake at the moment. You'll be getting like way 45 to $50 an hour as a starting salary package. And this is a starting salary package. Like once you finish your internship, the day you pass your CAPS exam, you got your variation, and that salary is like between 40 to $45. But in the regional areas, this is $45 an hour minimum. I've seen that, but people are paying $40 an hour as well. It's up to them why they are doing that. But as far as I know, in the far regional areas, you deserve to get $45 an hour plus the rental thing, because you are living far away from main cities. If you are living in a main city like Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, main cities, then the rate is a bit less because you're living in a main metropolitan city. The rate would be around like $40 an hour without any allowances. But if you're living far away from main cities, then they had to give you a rental allowance plus the high salary. So this is a common saying in Australia: only the country pharmacists they make money. So the country pharmacist means like pharmacists who are working in a far regional areas away from cities. I'm living far away from main city as well, but I'm very happy here, living here, making good money, having good community. So it's your priorities actually. If you want to make less money but want to live in main cities, that's your choice. But if you want to make good money living a bit far away from main cities but in a good reasonable cities, then you can get a you can make very handsome amount of money, and you can save a lot as well, to be honest. Okay, next question is from the Facebook. One second. Do I need a work experience? Look, to apply for the 407 visa, you don't need any experience. To apply for the 491 or 494 visa, then of course there is a requirement of 3 years of visa. So you have to fulfill that requirement as well. But I would say that, like, if you have got experience from your country that is beneficial, that will help you to claim more points as far as immigration is concerned. But you haven't got any experience, and if you're happy to get sponsored from someone, then of course experience is not that mandatory at the moment, but minimum 3 years of experience is ideal actually. So means yeah, one of this video which has the tips and tricks is incomplete. Can you share the remaining part? Okay, so mean if you go to my channel and if you watch the live videos, then there is another video in which I have explained everything there. So sort of in that video as well, I have explained a lot of stuff. And if you just joined us in the start of this video, I've explained all that again superficially, but it is more than enough to get an idea about how you can prepare for the exam. Okay, so but I will arrange some session again, that's not an issue. Okay, next is Santosh, what is the validity of skill assessment letter and what will time limit for become a pharmacist after CAPS exam? Once you pass the CAPS exam, I think the validity of the CAPS exam is 5 years. Before it was 3 years. Because of COVID, they extended to 5 years. But right now, I'm not sure it's 3 or 5 years. But I think it's 5 years at the moment. So if you have passed the exam and you can look for the jobs, arrange some visas, and yeah, its validity is 4 to 5 years at the moment. Okay, a few more questions and got my 1 second. Okay, next question is uh, should we go to Canada, Australia, or Norway? Fazil. Um, Look, I have got many friends in Canada as well, in America, UK, in Norway as well. But look, it's your choice. Every country is ideal for everyone. If someone is successful in Australia, does not mean everyone else will be successful. If someone is unsuccessful in any country, it does not mean that you will be unsuccessful. It's your life, it's your destiny, it's your hard work, it's your skills, and you can excel anywhere. I always advise people like decide, take the decision, keeping in mind your circumstances. What finances have you got at the moment? Are you have got enough money to pay for all the expenses until you come to Australia? If yes, come to Australia, best place. If you think no, I don't have enough money, I have to go somewhere where don't have to give the exam, where I can just go straight there, pass the language exam, and start working as a pharmacist and make reasonable money, go for Norway. But that's a long waiting time. But still, like people, without giving any licensing exam, they have to just pass the English language exam, and then of course they are ready to work as a pharmacist over there. So you can go for that, and I think only the cost is like around 3,000 Australian dollars in going to Norway. So as compared to Norway, Australia, it will be very expensive. All the expenses, including your eligibility assessment, English exams, your CAPS exam, your recruiter fee if you are taking services for recruiter to get a job, then all those expenses and visa fees will cost you around around minimum 10,000 Australian dollars, uh, which is a hefty money, of course, if you convert money to Asian currencies. So it's all depends on you actually. So I would say that like if you can afford that and if you can arrange the money for to come to Australia, go for it. And this is best. I'm here. I want everyone to come here, to be honest, and help the local health system. But of course, you have to invest first. So it's not like that. Nothing is free in the world. And a lot of people, they ask me these questions like, "You, why are you charging for your CAPS coaching and all that?" Look, the thing is, nothing is free. And if you want to buy a good phone, that's expensive. iPhone is expensive rather than any other small Nokia. So everything has a price. If you want to come to Australia, there is a price for that. You have to invest money in that. Once you invest it, once you come here, then you will realize that your decision is good. You have invested good. Even in Canada, that's best place. UK is the best place to go. And a lot of people from UK, they have contacted me. They want to come to Australia. What was the reason? The reason was in UK, the OSPAP is quite expensive. People can't afford it. Even they are living there, working odd jobs, they can't afford OSPAP. So they want Australia is a bit cheaper than UK. So this is your life, this is your decision at the end of the day. Talk to the people who are in Australia, talk to the people who are in UK, Canada, or in Norway, and then keeping in mind all of these things, keeping in mind in your family, your circumstances, take the decision according to that. Don't follow everyone blindly. Don't follow someone you think he's successful in Norway or in Australia. Just follow that. No, think yourself first and take decisions according to your circumstances. I would say that don't be in rush taking these decisions. And a lot of people I got so many messages about same question, like should we come to Australia, what are the chances, is there any saturation. I hate this terminology, saturation. What is meant by saturation? If you're living in your country, are you jobless there? In a population of like 3 billion or like 22 crores, 24 crores, or like even 1 billion population country, they are not saturated, and you are thinking Australia, Norway, or UK can get saturated. Look, this terminology is I don't buy that one, to be honest. Like it's, if you have got potential, you can excel anyway. Even in your country, sitting in a saturated environment, you can excel yourself if you have a potential. If you just want to blame the system, if you want to blame people, then of course, like even if you go to heaven, you will not be happy there. So um, don't think like that. Think about the options you have got. Think about the things which are in your hand, and you can utilize those things to go there. If you've got money to go to Norway, go to Norway. If you've got money, go to Australia, go to Australia. Okay, so it's not about thinking other way around, like if I will be successful or not, if it's easy or not. Nothing is easy in the world, nothing is free in the world. All depends on your situation, all depends on your preferences and priorities, that's all. Okay, next question is, if we take if we pass the caps, if we fail the caps exam, or if we pass, what's the question, if we fail the exam and we will not be able to find the job, then our money will be wasted. Look, um, this is again, like you are asking very kind of a question which a lot of people ask about, like if we spend around $6,000-7,000 on the eligibility assessment and English exam and then caps exam and then recruiter fee, and then if we will not be able to find the job, and our money will be in vain. Look, I would I wouldn't say that take that risk. I would say that take the calculated risk. If you think, in your experience, it if out of 10 people, 8 people got the job, I think that's a worth taking that calculated risk. If you're thinking out of 10 in your surrounding, if out of 10 people, less than 5 people didn't got a job, then of course that's a big risk. Don't take that risk. Okay, so even in your countries, if you are living in your country and right after the graduation, out of 10 people, only 1 or 2 got the job straight away, and 7 or 8 people take time. Few people got job in 1 month, few got job in 3 months, and few got job in 1 year. So this rule applies everywhere. It's all your luck. I have seen people got the job in a month time, and they got an offer in a month after passing the CAPS exam, right? I have seen people stuck in overseas just because of the COVID and all that, and they have caps expired. They couldn't find the job just because they were not in the ideal environment. They were not in the ideal time, after the exam, so they will not be able to secure the position. But I haven't seen anyone, I would say that, who has passed the CAPS exam and who hasn't been able to secure the visa or hasn't been able to secure the job. Again, as I said, like if you thinking you will pass the exam and someone will come and knock the door and say like, man, you have passed the exam and come, we want you in Australia. This will not happen, right? You have to invest the time, you have to invest the money again to look for the job, to get the job, to pay the fee, pay the visa fee, and the initial expenses, and then it will take some time to get into the system, and it will take some time to start making money. But before that, if you pass the CAPS exam, if you're thinking someone will come and take you and take you on a private jet to that is not the case. Okay, so it's a journey. Once is the CAPS journey, and then next journey is to how to land in Australia. Okay, I think last question, and then we will finish because that's 1 hour already. Okay, This is the question asked by how many hours in a week an intern can work and a registered pharmacist after an internship can work. Okay, so there are if you go to the Google and Google about the fair trading website, how many hours legally you can work in a day. So I think, as I said, I think 40 hours a week you can work. You should have a 2 days off in a day, like 8 to 12 hours. In a day, I think there is no limit. But overall, you have to work 38 to 40 hours a week. This is the time limit from the Fair Trade Australia, which is recommended by them, and which is the law as well. You can't work more than that because that will be not that will not be held a safety for you actually. So no one can force you that. No one can force you to work more than those hours. As far as my experience is concerned, I know why you are asking this question, because I know in UAE or in other countries, you have to work 12 hours, 14 hours shift, and then it's very very hectic. But not in Australia. If you think you can't work more than 8 hours, you can just talk to your owner and say like, no, I can't. But majority of the pharmacy, like 90% of them in 90% of the pharmacies, uh, it is only 8 hour shift. That's all. 8 hours, which includes half an hour lunch break as well. So technically, you will be working only 7.5 hours a day. That's all. That's more than enough. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on this live YouTube session. Probably it could be very helpful for you, and you'll get a good piece of information out of it. I would say that start your journey. If you're thinking of moving to Australia, take that decision, stick to that decision, pass the exam, take 4 months out of your life, and on those 4 months, you will be able to crack the exam, and your life will be altogether different once you will be here in Australia as compared to where are you at the moment. Okay, so just take that first step. It's always hard to take that first step. Once you take the step, you will get help from everyone from everywhere. Okay, good luck with that, and talk to you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.